welcome to the K-Files this morning. Well, hey, JP.
Good morning, Miss Sandra. Welcome back.
Well, thank you. I tell you what, JP did a jam-up job. I was watching, I got to test out our stream last week, and it worked. So anyway, you had a great guest. He's been on before.
Tim Askew, he was a lifesaver. He come in, helped us out, and we had a good time reminiscing and talking about days gone by and things like that. Had a good time.
Well, we appreciate him coming, and hopefully he'll be on some more. And we appreciate everything you've done for us in 2020. When did you start?
Let's see. I started guest hosting a little bit. February was almost 2 years ago. Just kind of filling in here and there.
We talked about that at our Christmas party. I told everybody, and one of the hosts said, watch out how you guest host, because you're going to get pulled in big time, and I'm here every Friday. So
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I do.
Well, we're so glad that you're able to do this with us, and in Lyndall's absence, Lyndall has gone on to big things. He is teaching journalism at Barton College and Summit Wesleyan and all around. I think he told me I saw him the other day, teaching online where he was in Hosky, doing that, teaching online now. So he's just doing his thing that he's always wanted to do. So he got his master's and was willing to do what they told him he needed to do, and so that's what he's doing. But he does ask about the show, and he does, he said if we need any information from him, we can certainly call him, and he'll be glad to help us. So anyway, there's a local case that bothers me. And I'm going to let JP tell you who it is and the deceased were.
The gentleman who has been arrested and charged with 2 murders and possession of a firearm by a felon, who's charged in this case, his name is Eric Coley. And one of the interesting things that came to light this past week was tucked away in the autopsy reports. I find it interesting. It seems that one of the deceased, Miss Destiny Wiggins, was found to be 12 weeks pregnant.
That's interesting.
It is interesting
in itself.
Yeah. Other than those little facts, Rocky Mount PD, my hat's off to them. A lot of times they try to keep facts close to them, especially when, a case is, still being worked, still being investigated. The downside to that is it makes the public speculate. It makes us, draw conclusions and wonder and pose questions. And, the first thing that my mind went to when I saw that fact was, motive. The law enforcement officer in me is like, what's the motive here? What drove this gentleman to kill these 2 people?
Well, I have a question. Okay, this happened at Barnhill Construction, which is right across the road from us, almost diagonally right down the road. They were they were found, and when I say they, it was the 2 people that were deceased in the front seat, and the thing that burns me up too were the 2 kids. He didn't bother the 2 children in the back seat, but guess what? It was
it got
30,
down
40
into
degrees
30s that night.
And they were left in the back of the daggone car.
Yeah. I'm just thankful that a Barnhill employee took it upon himself to realize that something was odd, out of the ordinary, and took the time to walk over there and look in that car.
Yeah. He must have said to himself, what is this car doing here?
Yeah.
This is a car that I don't normally see here.
Yeah.
But my question is, didn't it look like, to me, it looks like this car met this other person there?
That's what I'm thinking too.
Because why else would you be in the Barnhill Construction parking lot?
A lot of times, again, nothing to do with this, but a lot of times people meet in commercial areas, non-residential type areas, to do what I would call shady transactions. But what people need to understand is nowadays there's cameras everywhere.
Yes.
And there's no doubt in my mind it's not been reported. Barnhill's a brand new facility.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you anything that everything that took place in that parking lot is captured on video.
Well, I would think Bob Barnhill and Rob Barnhill would have cameras. I can tell you
Yes.
that.
And I mean top of the line ones that you can zoom in and see things crystal clear.
Well, they caught him fast.
Yeah,
So I guarantee you cameras played a role.
I bet you they did too.
I'll bet so. And I don't know what they met about, but it ended terribly. And now there's 2 children without a mother.
Yep.
Don't know who the father of the children were. I don't know if it was the person in the car, which was, I think they said her boyfriend or whatever. But whatever the problem was, this was terrible.
Yeah.
Just absolutely terrible. But the good thing is, and you know the operative words, every single time you hear of a crime lately, it's a felon with a firearm. A felon with a firearm.
I've
Every
said
time.
it here over and over and over again. Rocky Mount gets a bad rap. Durham gets a bad rap. Folks, it's your repeat offenders. It's the same people doing this stuff over and over and over again in your
Absolutely.
community that's terrorizing your family, that's terrorizing your loved ones.
That's right.
As soon as I saw the charge, possession of a firearm by a felon, okay, that told me he has an extensive felony background, felony charges, felony history. Okay, you know, that tells me a lot from a law enforcement perspective without
Right.
really getting into it. But he's not a Sunday school teacher, in other words.
No, he certainly is not.
And these people, if this guy had been locked up for other crimes that he had committed, say what you want to, that couple would be alive today. And that's the way I feel about it.
That's right. I mean, that's exactly right. So, you know, too much repeat offending. You know, we're saying Rocky Mount is full of criminals. Well, no, it's full of good people.
It is.
And there's a handful
Yep.
of these people that keep doing the same things over and over and over. We have a new DA.
We do.
We'll see if
Finally,
it's a new day.
officially.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
yeah.
I am.
But poor Jeff Marsigli is, in case you've been under a rock, is the new DA. And you know, he's in cases like that, you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders when you take over. You know, you're like, oh, think about our new city manager. You know, our new city manager's like, oh, okay. So anyway.
But you know, this would be my advice to the district attorney. I'm not a lawyer, don't pretend to be one. Again, Rocky Mount sometimes gets a bad rap. People outside of Rocky Mount, I would argue, supported him because they don't want what's going on in Rocky Mount to spill over into Red Oak,
Right.
to spill over into Momire, to spill over into Southern Ashe County.
Exactly.
That's what the message is here. And I promise
Exactly
you,
right.
if you begin holding people accountable, sending them to jail, locking them up, getting them off the street, I promise you, you'll see a change in Rocky Mount. I promise you, you will.
That's exactly right. So we hope good things are coming, and we're going to invite DA Jeff Marsigli to come on with us. How
I'm
about
looking
that?
forward to that. Yes.
Let's do that.
Good idea.
We'll reach out. Right now, I was trying to let him get his feet wet. You know, they always say, please let me get into the position and see what I'm doing. So we'll do that. But first of the year, I'm going to ask Jeff to come, and I'm sure he will. Really nice fella. So I'm excited to have the DA on. I hope everybody will notice our billboard, and I'll tell you where it's at. It is out at the mall, the digital billboard that's out at Golden East Mall, but we're on the opposite side. We're waiting for a position on this side. We're going to rotate it. But if you're coming from Sunset Avenue and you're turning on the 301, you're coming towards the mall, you can look right up there, and our billboard is up. And what we're doing is trying to, we're appealing just like we are on this program. We're using every avenue we can with the Teen Cold case to solve crimes. The number is up there, bold as it can be, but what happens is we're going to rotate. Nash County had a billboard up for 2 weeks, and they got to, I think one of their ones that they wanted to feature was Randy Colgrove case, and the other one was, I can't remember who the other one was. But now we're switching over. This week starts Rocky Mount. It's their turn to have 2 cases. And so we're up with those 2 cases. The phone number's up there. We hope if you know anything, you will call the number. It's just like it is on here. It is anonymous. So please call the number. Nobody will know. And of course, Rocky Mount has, and Lee, if you'll put that up, Rocky Mount has text to tip. They always want me to put this up whenever he can, because I told him on the fly. But anyway, text to tip, Crime Stoppers, 977-1111. That's easy enough. There it is right there. So please, that's what this is all about. That's why me and JP sit up here and beg you to please come forward. And, you know, these people, I heard not long ago, there's the text to tip right there. Crimes 274-637 is the number to RMPOL, and your message to 274-637. And it says your tip is completely anonymous.
And it is.
I think these folks are out of Canada
That's
that
right.
run
We
this
route
tip.
everything through Canada.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, Rocky Mountain couldn't get the information. If they had a warrant demanding them to produce the information, they couldn't get it.
So we hope that you will call.
I keep seeing something on Facebook about the bad crash that y'all had here in Rocky Mount. I believe one of the telecommunicators and her young son was killed by a drunk driver.
Terrible.
Son
Son is 3 years old.
Killed by a drunk driver. Where did that happen at?
Raleigh Road. Raleigh Road.
I saw that online and it just...
Sad. That was very sad. You know, folks, I cannot tell you enough. If you are drinking, please do not get behind the wheel of a car.
That's exactly right.
Because, you know, and I hate to say it this way, but the drunk driver usually survives.
It does. That is right.
What is
Usually
it?
a minor injury. And I think this guy or this person, I don't know if it was a male or female, but broke his ankle or sprained his ankle or something like that.
And they're dead. Terrible. Deceased. So anyway, that was another terrible, terrible thing that happened in Rocky Mount this past week. So anyway.
Thoughts and prayers for, out to the family.
Absolutely.
I mean, holiday season, Christmas is here.
Yes. It's bad enough to happen anytime, and here it is every single year at Christmas. We talked about a lot of crimes that happen at holidays.
Senseless crime.
Yeah. And every year when it rolls around, y'all, they're going to think about it.
Yeah.
This is how their Christmas will be spent, mourning. So, anyway, I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, we might as well take a break before we get into some cases this morning, some more cases. We've already dove into a couple. So, anyway, we'll be right back with you.
Eastern North Carolina Indoor Shooting Sports Center is the place to go for indoor shooting, archery, and axe throwing. If you want to protect your family, we offer concealed carry classes as well as NSSF firearms training. For that special holiday gift, don't forget, we have gift certificates available. Open every day except Tuesday and Wednesday. Eastern North Carolina Indoor Shooting Sports Center.
I'm Daniel Moss, owner of Cornerstone Funeral Home, and I'd like to invite you and your family to give our family an opportunity to serve you in your time of need. And we offer a full line of funeral services, everything from visitations to graveside services to cremations on site with a live crematory, as well as a banquet hall to meet the catering needs of our families that we serve. We offer catering service. We offer refreshments prior to visitations and services of our family. And we want to invite you to come and experience the difference here at Cornerstone Funeral Home.
What is the Davis Furniture difference? The difference is we buy with you in mind. For generations, we have listened to our customers. We can help you find the look you want for every room in your house. Quality, style, color, and of course, service. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Davis Furniture, the family business where we treat you like family. Let us help you make your house a home. Davis Furniture, historical downtown Rocky Mount, on the corner of Hill and Main.
Okay, welcome back, and I'm gonna let JP take the lead because he knows where we are in the book. So anyway, we're on
Zartavius Henderson.
Henderson, okay?
Zartavius Henderson. This case is from June 5th, 2020, around 11:30 a.m. A shooting took place on the 1200 block of Ash Street near Howard Avenue in Tarboro. When Tarboro police arrived on the scene, they found 19-year-old Zartavius Henderson of Rocky Mount suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Police and paramedics began life-saving measures. Henderson was transported to an area hospital and airlifted to another hospital where he passed away. Zartavius Henderson, June 5th, 2020. This happened in Tarboro, North Carolina.
He was from Rocky Mount, right?
Okay, of Rocky Mount, that is correct. 11:30 in the morning. Well, it just says 11:30 m. So
That was a typo, so we don't know if it was
AM or PM.
AM or PM, probably PM more than likely.
Right.
But Ash Street near Howard Avenue, if you don't know where Howard Avenue is in Tarboro, it's the street that runs in front of, it's the main street that runs in front of the mall.
Where Ribeyes is.
Ribeyes,
Okay.
the mall, all of that. That's Howard Avenue, and evidently Ash Street is a little street right off of that. 1200 block of Ash Street. So we have a lot of Tarboro viewers. So if anybody saw anything on June the 5th, 2020, it's a pretty recent case.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So if anybody saw anything, please call 406-6736 or Crime Stoppers. I guess this is going to be handled by, would that be handled by Rocky Mount or Edgecombe? Is it where it takes place?
It sounds like where the crime occurred. So Tarboro Police Department would, if it was in the city limits, Tarboro.
Well, that's
would be
right,
working
because
it.
it says when Tarboro police arrived on the scene. So it would be Tarboro that keeps this case, I guess, and the investigation would be done by.
And they probably
Tarboro.
reached out to Edgecombe if there was a fact that took them outside into the county, or they reached out to Rocky Mount if a fact took them to something like that.
Right.
Did you see, not meaning to change the subject, did you see where the sheriff named his number 2 man?
Yes, and I could not be happier.
That was not even on my radar. Yeah, it wasn't on
I didn't
mine.
know which one it would be, one of 2 or 3, but I thought he would be Alan Wilson. Him and Keith Stone worked together.
He was a captain as well. He was
Yes.
my captain on the Highway Patrol, Troop C captain. Alan Wilson. Alan's brother Bubba was colonel of the Highway Patrol.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's in the family.
It is in the family.
But I love Alan Wilson, and just such a good, nice guy. And I was very pleased with that. And I was going to announce some other promotions this morning too, if I hadn't left my phone at home. But anyway, I'm glad you brought that up.
Good guy.
And he said number 2 man. This is Brandon Medina left to be the chief of Fuquay Varina.
Right.
And I asked Sheriff Stone, I said, why would you not go ahead and appoint somebody? He said, I'm not until after election. because I don't want to appoint someone just to have if something were to happen and I was not the sheriff anymore, just to have them snatched, out, because things change,
Yeah.
always change when there's a new regime coming in. So he said, I'm not going to put somebody in a position to have them just snatched out, possibly. So we're going to wait it out. And the minute he got elected, Sheriff Stone got elected, he did his appointments, got everybody in place for the new next 4 years, I guess. So congratulations to Alan
Congratulations,
Wilson.
indeed.
Yes. So we're very happy, and we know that Jeff Sherrod, that comes on here all the time, he got a promotion way back to captain.
Late summer, early fall.
Yeah. So good things are happening at the Nash County Sheriff's Office in Edgecombe, as far as that's concerned. But Zartavius Henderson, if you knew anything about this on Howard Avenue, Ash Street in Tarboro, please call the number. Please come forward. $15,000, up to $15,000 is at stake, folks. If you can use some Christmas money, it's cash. You can get cash. You can get it before Christmas, I promise you. If it pans out, your tip pans out, then they can get paid before Christmas.
Everybody needs extra cash at Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there you go. All right. The next one's, we've got a little bit of detail.
Yeah, this next case is very detailed. Montrell Wilson and Devontae Burton. This case is from June 20th, 2020. At around 2:15 a.m., Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office received a report of shots being fired at 715 East Lashley Street in Pine Tops. There were over 15 people at the house that was being used as a liquor house when the shooting happened. Pine Tops police were the first to arrive on the scene and found that 4 people had been shot. There were 4 victims. Devontae Burton and Montrell Williams were pronounced dead at the scene, while a 3rd person was transported to Vidant Medical Center in Greenville, and the 4th declined medical treatment. Witnesses advised that a car came by and the occupant started shooting at individuals outside of the residence. There were several witnesses on scene, however, no one is sharing what they saw.
That's so important, folks, to share and get people off the street. But this is not random.
No, it's not.
I would say this is not random. They were targeting, don't you think? They were targeting somebody. We've talked about this case before.
So much so that for these people to not want to cooperate with law enforcement and share information that they witnessed that could possibly bring criminal charges and get these people off the street,
Exactly.
so much so that they don't want to get involved, that means they know them.
Yeah. They know them.
That's right.
And did we tell the kind of car? Is that in here?
It's not shared.
It's not shared.
It's
Okay.
not mentioned.
We would like to know what kind of car it was, that's for sure. But anyway, we just know that a car came by, is all it says. Witnesses advised that a car came by and the occupants started shooting.
But look, if you're one of these 15 people, nobody will know.
No.
Nobody will know that you shared this information. The only thing that's going to happen is you're going to provide information to law enforcement and you're going to get paid, and the other 14 are not.
Yeah,
That's what you need to know.
that's exactly
And if
right.
it's told, you told it.
That's right.
So come forward, share the information that you know, bring these people to justice, hold them accountable for their actions, and you get paid. That would be my advice.
Yeah. I mean, you're protecting yourself, too. I mean, they could come after you again.
That's right.
And, here again, it's like the party that we've talked about in Halifax County.
Yeah.
Edgecombe, maybe it was in Nash County.
There was
on
one
the
in Halifax a
verge
few
of-
weeks ago, a huge party.
Yeah. And, it's like that. Somebody, a lot of people know. I mean, out of 15 people, no way. So please, as JP said, come forward. $15,000, up to $15,000. It's depending on how valuable the tip was, and law enforcement will tell you all tips are valuable. No tip is too small. If you know anything, it's okay. It's better for them to investigate a dead end than to not have anything to investigate at all. So, okay.
This next one is Jaleel Taki Evans. Jaleel Taki Evans. This case is from October 28th, 2020. Jaleel Evans had just turned 29 when he went missing on October the 1st, 2020. Jaleel was born in North Carolina and had moved to Georgia when he was young, and then moved to Greensboro when he was 14 years old, and has been there ever since. He has family that lives in Rocky Mount. He does visit Rocky Mount from time to time. Jaleel, who goes by JT, was found near the entrance of Sandy Creek Game Land on Summer Road in Castalia. Is this the one they made an arrest
You know
in?
what? We did. We don't need to read this one.
Gotcha.
I'm glad you said that, and I'm gonna mark this one
Yep.
out of the book because thank goodness solved.
Soon
I
as
love
I
to
saw
say
Castalia, yeah.
Yeah, Castalia. Yes. So we'll move on because that case, Jeff Sherrod has announced several times that
Yep.
that has been solved. So we can mark that one out. I wish we could mark them all out.
Me too. Me too. Tavares Lynch. This case is from November 16th, 2020 at approximately 6:34 p.m. Tavares was on the 1700 block of Bedford Road in Rocky Mount. He was parked in the cul-de-sac and sitting in his vehicle. Suspects approached the vehicle and started shooting. Lynch was struck by gunfire and died. Now, Bedford's a road that I have never heard of in Rocky Mount.
Bedford Road is in Meadowbrook. In the Meadowbrook,
Okay.
over in Edgecombe County, Meadowbrook Road there's Beverly Road, Bedford Road, right in front. That street is almost directly in front of D.S. Johnson School on
Okay.
Fairview Road. So, that's where it's at.
Cul-de-sac.
Yes.
Parked in
sitting
his
the-
vehicle, 6:30 in the afternoon.
I mean, it sounds like he was waiting for somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't just park in the cul-de-sac.
So I'm assuming that's a residential area.
Yes, very.
So he could have been sitting in front of his home.
Well, it could have been. Yeah, absolutely. Could have been just
or a
sitting in his
friend's
car.
home. Right. And people approached him and it basically executed him, sitting in the car. Sort of like what happened over here at Barnhill.
Yeah. And, in my thoughts, JP, it looks like some parents or family members in some of these cases would come forward because some of the folks that your loved one hangs around.
Yeah. Well, I live way out in the country. You can't really see a neighbor on either side of my house.
Right.
But you let a car pull in my yard, my phone's going to ring, and they're like, hey, there's a blue pickup truck sitting in. Okay. That just goes to show you everybody's always watching. There's always somebody. There is somebody who saw these vehicles.
Yes.
There's somebody who saw the shooting take place.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially at 6:30 in the afternoon
Yeah.
in November.
I mean, broad daylight.
Broad daylight.
Well, it won't daylight in November, I don't guess, but still, I mean,
Somebody saw
6:30
it.
at night.
Yeah. You could get a vehicle description, a color,
Yeah.
direction of travel, enough information. There's no reason this isn't solved if people were sharing the information that they knew of or witnessed.
Absolutely. So, and the bad, well, it's always bad, but these are such young people. Young people losing their lives is just senseless. So anyway, just sitting in his car. But how does law enforcement know? See, they've had some kind of tip because how do they know that he was parked there and suspects approached the vehicle and started shooting?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
they basically know exactly what happened.
you would be able to determine that based on maybe if the car was struck with gunfire.
Yeah.
If his car was in park and not in drive.
Yeah.
It lets law enforcement know, like, if the engine was running and the car was in park and the doors were locked, you know, he was pretty much sitting in his car,
Right.
minding his own business.
Right.
But I dare say somebody probably shared some information,
You
and they
know,
may not just be sharing it here.
I would dare say 90% of the cases in this book, this just comes from me, are not random.
No, it's not.
None of them. Hardly
I
any.
totally agree with that.
I mean, it's just sad that so
And a
many
lot
of
of
these
crimes that
things-
we would put into a random category, if you dig into it hard enough, these people cross paths somewhere.
Yeah.
Especially in
Absolutely.
abductions. Somebody bumped into you at the bank. Somebody bumped into you at the mall. Somebody bumped into you at the swimming pool. Okay, they may not have known each other. She may not have known she was being followed or stalked. But it's not totally random.
Yes.
It was random to her or
Yes.
the victim because they never saw it coming.
That's right.
I believe that.
Okay, well, it's time for us to hear some weather and come back and talk about Philip Willoughby right after this.
The Edgecombe Community College Caheen Auditorium 2022-23 Performance Series is back. North Carolina Symphony Holiday Pops and A Christmas Carol. Coming in 2023, the Zuzu African Acrobats. And yes, you heard right, the Rat Pack one more time. The Kings of Las Vegas Swing. And wrapping up the season, To Kill a Mockingbird, Matilda the Musical, and Rashomon. Season tickets on sale now. Don't miss out. Get your season tickets today.
In 123 years, many things change, but some things don't. Like Christmas shopping at P.L. Woodard in historic downtown Wilson. Nothing brings a smile to a little one like a Radio Flyer wagon or tricycle. Or how about a leaf blower, weed eater, blackstrap molasses, or old timer and trade pocket knives for anyone on your list. The ever popular crab pot Christmas trees are on display and ready to decorate your home for that special gift.
Come by P.L. Woodard & Company where you can find the old-fashioned magic of Christmas.
Sal's Pizza, an Italian night out. Taste pizza fresh from the oven. Delicious Italian dishes made from fresh ingredients with savory sauces and textures that envelop the taste buds, satisfying with every bite. You won't leave Sal's Pizza hungry.
Best pizza in town, bar none. Love it. It's authentic. It's good stuff.
This is over the top. Sal's probably has the best pizza I've ever tasted.
If you want a dine-in authentic place to eat gourmet Italian cuisine, come to Sal's Pizza, home of a local secret, the Grandma Pizza, famous for its authentic taste. For the finest, most delicious dishes, this is the place. 2820 Sunset Avenue, Rocky Mount. Ask about Sal's Pizza catering your special events.
Promise you, the freshest ingredient in the market.
Let Smith's Pavilion of Dorchester help you plan your most memorable events. Weddings, birthday parties, graduations, reunions, and corporate events. We offer an indoor reception area, pavilion porch, fire pit area, and ceremony site. New additions coming soon include a bridal suite plus a covered bandstand and DJ area. Our executive chef can customize our in-house services to meet all your culinary needs. Smith's Pavilion of Dorchester is behind Smith's Red and White, where we celebrate life's greatest events.
Why buy from Don Bullock Chevrolet? What we do it better for you, like the Lifetime Care Promise. Just drive into our service department and we'll top off your fluids and oil, check your tire pressure, all while you remain in your car. And in less than 5 minutes. Plus, it's free. Don Bullock Chevrolet is a full-service dealership with service, parts, and collision department. Let our knowledgeable and friendly staff help you. On-site, third-generation owned and operated for 105 years. Don Bullock Chevrolet.
The tank is on E, and your low tire pressure light is glaring at you again. You do not have time to wait in line and pay to put air in the tires, and you certainly don't want to get out of the car in the cold and pump gas. What if you could pull up to a gas pump and have an attendant run out to greet you to pump your gas, clean your windshield, and put air in the tire, all for no extra charge, while you step inside and enjoy a made-to-order breakfast or lunch? Does that kind of full service exist anymore? It does at JD's Grocery and Grill, a service station created to bring back the full service experience to all customers. JD's Grocery and Grill is a full service gas station, eat-in restaurant with tasty made-to-order food, and a grocery store all in one. The staff at JD's Grocery and Grill is ready to field all requests and will help you find anything you need. Call them today at 252-972-5000 or stop on by at 1240 Atlantic Avenue. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Grill hours, Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. JD's Grill and Grocery, at the heart of great food.
Okay, we will go in now to Philip Lee Willoughby.
You know, this is a Southern Nash County case from the Middlesex area. I believe we've had Nash County Sheriff's Office on. I believe we've had Middlesex Police Department on. We've had the first sergeant from Rocky Mount on talking about this case. This is the case of Mr. Philip Lee Willoughby. Philip Lee Willoughby. This case is from November 27th, 2020. In the morning hours, Nash County Sheriff's Office and the State Highway Patrol responded to a hit and run involving a pedestrian on NC 231 in Nash County in the Middlesex city limits. Upon arrival, troopers discovered a deceased male who was identified as Philip Lee Willoughby Jr. of Middlesex. Mr. Willoughby had been struck by an unknown vehicle, and the vehicle fled the scene after impact. Investigators believe he ran out of gas on the night of November 27th, 2020, left his car at a nearby Dollar General, and was walking home when it was hit. A Middlesex police officer spoke to him that night, but Willoughby told him he was waiting on a ride. At last check, the keys to his vehicle were never found. His cell phone was found several days later in an area that had already been searched multiple times before.
We've talked about this case before too.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Okay, so why would, I don't understand the keys missing, but the car is there. What? I don't know.
I've talked to the Highway Patrol about this case. I've talked to law enforcement about this case. I've talked to the chief. I've actually talked to employees of the Dollar General and the employees of the local pit stop. He also went into the pit stop and it was captured on video. So what I'm about to say is just a collection of a lot of different facts from different sources. Apparently he went into the Dollar General.
Okay.
You see some people in the Dollar General behind him or around him. He takes out what appears to be a large knot, or what I call a large knot of money. He makes a purchase. Apparently he does walk down, and if you're familiar with where the Dollar General is, walking in Middlesex, as you walk closer to town, there's more houses, there's more lighting, there's more, you're going to be seen doing something shady. So he walks to the pit stop. They're able to put together at the pit stop, looking at video, him going in the store at the pit stop, a vehicle going through the parking lot. And it is the people that saw him with the knot of money at the Dollar General. Okay? So that's where we're at.
Oh.
He leaves the pit stop,
Walking
now out of town. Less lighting, less traffic, what have you.
Wow.
Well, he gets out of town, almost out of town, and supposedly he has been struck by a unknown vehicle. Now everything from this point on is strictly my opinion, okay?
Okay.
I think these people hit him, okay?
Took the money.
I think they turned around. I think they came back. I don't think he was dead. And an autopsy would prove this, would prove my theory, okay? I think they killed him. Okay? And I don't know that to be the case, okay?
So the money was gone, but we don't know
at this
that.
point, he was robbed. We know at this point he was robbed.
So the money was gone.
So everything's gone.
Everything's gone. They took his keys.
Well, what criminals know is when you take stuff, that's how you get caught. Law enforcement walked this ditch bank up one side and down the other.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, 2 or 3 days later, all this stuff shows up at the crime scene. Okay.
The phone.
These people returned it. These people come back and threw it out of their car.
Yeah, because you know they'd have found that.
That's
I mean, law enforcement would
that's-
have immediately.
That's exactly
'Cause
right.
that's the first thing they do is comb the area.
Yeah. The suspects that they believe perpetrated this crime, I'm familiar with the family. When I tell you good family, these suspects are from one of the finest families in that area. He just happens, these particular kids just have some issues. And it's been told to me, not by law enforcement, but by family, that these people were seen on video at the local Walmart with his credit cards. You
Wow.
can't make that up.
No.
It looks like to me, if that were true, I've never been able to get that confirmed through the patrol or through law enforcement. It's been very tight-lipped. But it looks like to me, if that were true, that fact alone would be enough to bring criminal charges. Because all of that is not circumstance.
Right.
It's a criminal element.
It looks like this could be solved to me.
It does. It does.
And the guy looks like a clean cut.
Yep.
I mean, he looks like a clean cut guy. Do we know anything about him?
You know, I
I'd
do
like
not.
to know more about him
Yeah.
himself. Where did he work? What did he?
For some reason-
anybody can, I guess, can run out of gas.
Yeah.
So no
This
matter.
can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
I think it was like I was telling you earlier, as far as something being totally random. If what I think happened is true, a circumstance of him reaching in his pocket to buy something at the Dollar General got him killed,
You know what?
pulling out a large amount of
You
money.
just don't do that.
No.
That is a no-no this day and time. Use your daggone debit card. He might not have had one,
He
okay?
may not.
If he didn't, well, you said he had debit cards, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, and if you got to pull out cash and you want to pay with cash, don't have a wad of it.
Yeah.
If you've got a wad of it, don't pull it out. Just get out a couple of dollars or whatever you got to have. But do not flash money.
When he was seen 15, 20 minutes after the Dollar General at the local pit stop, and the ladies at the pit stop told me that that vehicle is seen riding around their store, that's it. That tells me,
Wow.
take all this other stuff out.
And they kept.
They followed him.
They followed him. They kept up with him after
That's
he
it.
left the pit stop. How close is the pit
The
stop
pit's-
to the Dollar General?
Mile and a half.
Okay, so he
And
walked that
then
mile and a half.
he got on 231 at the pit stop and walked maybe a half a mile just before getting to the city limit sign.
Well, don't it look like if he ran out of gas, he could call somebody? He had a phone.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might
I
have been a
ju-
loner.
I just
Nobody to
wish
call?
he had told law enforcement to help me.
Yeah. I mean, ask for help. You got a phone.
The police department, he walked right by the police department entrance. I would have walked right in there and said, look, I got help on the way. Do you mind if I sit here and watch TV until my help arrives?
That's kind of, that in itself to me is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm thinking, and I might be wrong on this, I might have it confused with another case. I'm thinking he did something with Nash County Schools.
oh, really? Well, I'm going to see if I can, to be sure, I know we can't know everything from law enforcement, but let's ask this week Nash County to let us know where he worked and a little bit about himself. Now, they shouldn't mind telling that.
Well, I think Nash County and the patrol considered herself helping Middlesex.
Yes.
Because this is,
then
it took
let's
place
ask
in
Middlesex.
Middlesex.
Yeah, true.
It was, it technically and legally it's a Middlesex case.
Well, let's ask Middlesex, can they just give us, and we can talk about this maybe again. This is interesting to me, but I'd like to know a little bit about him. Why, folks, I'll just give you some advice. If you run out of gas, call somebody or go nearby. Don't walk. Don't walk.
Especially if law enforcement rolls up and says, look, can we help you? Yes, you
Yes.
can. Give me a ride.
Yeah.
You give me a ride either to your police department, please,
Well, they're more
or a
than
local
willing.
convenience store that's 24.
Yeah.
Look, he could have stayed. He could have stayed at either one of these stores, lit,
Yeah.
public place until closing, and then the police department would have took him back to the
Yeah.
to the police agency.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's
This is
just
a
bad
very
situation.
interesting
Yeah.
case. So anyway, hopefully we may talk about this some more, see if we can get some more detail on this.
Well, Middlesex just got a brand new police chief, Chief Amos. He was the, I guess you'd call it the lieutenant. We spoke about a week ago about him coming on, talking with Shop with a Cop and everything last week, and some things didn't work out. So hopefully in the coming weeks he wants to come on.
Very good.
Brand new chief, great guy. See if we can get him on and just talk to him specifically about this case and see what he can and can't share.
Yeah. I mean, we need to meet we need to know our chiefs and our, police chiefs and sheriffs, and we need to know who they are. So certainly we do welcome him, and hopefully, JP, you can get him to come. And I want to have our Nashville chief on again, too.
JT Winston.
Yeah.
He's a he was just promoted within the past 90 days.
Yeah.
Great guy. I believe his dad just ran for county commissioner down around the Sandy Cross area.
That's right.
I've known JT forever. Good people. Good Nash County people.
Exactly. Okay, well, I think it's time for us to go. We'll start next week again with a case in 2021. We're moving forward, so, and we'll see if we have a hot and now for next week, or maybe some details on the hot and nows that we did today. We're going to start doing a little bit more of that on the show. So anyway, thank you, JP.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me,
Enjoyed it.
Miss Sandra.
And we'll see you next week.